Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Etude House Play Colour Eyes Cherry Blossom Edition. This one was kindly sent to me for review by Courier Depart by my request, so they let me pick like a couple of items. I think like they gave me like 10 to pick and then they sent me a collection from that, and this is one of the ones that I picked and they ended up sending me because I keep seeing this online and people seem to really love it. I haven't had that much luck with Etude House eyeshadows in the past, so I was kind of curious as to why everybody thought that this one was so good, because most of the other ones that I've tried have not been that good. So I decided to pick it up because the outer, gorgeous, the inner, the colours are just stunning, and I just couldn't help myself. So the product description says, this 10 shade palette takes inspiration from spring's cherry blossoms to make your eyes blooming and mesmerizing. Available in both shimmery and matte finishes. I was kind of confused by that product description because I was like, oh, are there two palettes? And then I was like, no, they're just saying that there's shimmers and mattes inside this one palette. Oh my god, I almost dropped it. So the packaging of this palette is absolutely beautiful. It has the nicest pink outer with cherry blossoms, and yeah, it's just everything my dreams are made of in terms of colours and format. It's also very slim, so when you're closing it, it is absolutely tiny. It's so easy to travel with because it is quite firm, and obviously it does come with a mirror on the inside, which is fantastic. It is a nice big mirror too, so I don't have any issues actually doing my eyeshadow with the mirror. Hallelujah. Not pictured, but it did come with 2 sponge tip applicators, which I don't use for my eyeshadow. I could send them to Christine from Simply Nailogical, but yeah, it does come with some if you need them. There are 10 shades in the palette and I feel like they are all gorgeous shades. I have a use for every single one of them, with the exception potentially being that very bright pink there. I just feel like my eyeshadow looks in general are more subdued, they're more subtle, and that shade is definitely not subtle. This first shimmer shade here is my favourite in the palette. It is a rose gold shimmer, and please excuse my eye makeup throughout this video because I started off with some winged liner, but I went through the colours in order of lightness because the darker pink does stain my lid a little bit, so it is varying. This shade in particular I find works best with a fingertip application, though I am applying it with a flat shader brush at the moment. I just have to dip in quite a few times to build up the colour and the pigmentation to the proper foil that I would like. It is a bit of a soft shadow, so there is a lot of fallout, so you can see like a big chunk of shadow there. It is fine to blend, but it is a soft shadow, so if you don't want any fallout on your cheeks, it's one to be careful of. But that is what it looks like there. It is the perfect rose gold shimmer. It reminds me a lot of NARS Orgasm Blush, except a little bit more pinky rather than that coral colour. But this one is definitely a solid favourite. Next shade along is this little peach matte shade, which I'm going to apply with a fluffy brush. For the most part I use this in my crease, so that's why I'm using a fluffy brush to apply it. Although you can get a lot more pigmentation if you use a flat shader brush. For me, it's kind of just like a little wash of colour because it's very similar to my own skin tone. Oh my gosh, that's from my eye. But it is a really nice transition if you're just going for a really gentle, soft look because it's so close to my skin tone. So that is the little peach matte shade there. The next shade is a really beautiful brown crease colour. It's a warm tone brown, but it's not too pink. I think I used this shade in my Springtime Get Ready With Me, and it looked more pink than it does in the pan, and yeah, it still looks pretty pink. But it's still like, I would still consider that a brown shade. So I'm applying this with my fluffy blending brush, and I keep saying blending brush. The reason that I'm only doing one eye is because I did all the other swatches from the Sim palette on the other eye, and it is like toast. You can only exfoliate your eyelids so much before they just start to swell. So that is the MAC shade there. It is so easy to work with. It looks really nicely blended in real life, but I can see on camera that there's a patch there that looks terrible. Why? I don't know. But that is the colour there. It is really spectacular. I think it is a great colour. Then we have this very deep matte brown here, which I only really use for the outer third of my eye, but I'm going to be putting it all over my eyelid, which I would never do and have never tried, so let's see how that goes. In general, I find these shadows really easy to blend, but I'm going to bet solid money that I'm going to have trouble blending this out into nothing because it normally never goes well for me. So that's why I would normally use a colour that's closer to my own skin tone for the crease colour, so those lighter browns in here and the peach colour. because otherwise I end up with weird blending, or it just goes straight up into my eyebrow like it is going to today. But you can build this up into a really beautiful deep dark brown. I just personally find it hard. So if I was using it on the outer third it would be fine, but man, that's a look. So that is that deep brown. Like I said, it's too dark, so if I keep blending it, it just goes up into my eyebrow. So yeah, no, but that is the color at least. It is a really nice neutral deep brown. Next to that dark brown is a really pretty shimmery taupey brown, and I don't know why my camera is not focusing. This one has quite a lot of fallout like the first pink shade I showed you, so it is a soft shadow, so just be careful when you're picking it up that you don't press too hard with the brush. But it is a really beautiful color. Now I'm looking at it, it looks real similar to the other one on my other eye. But that's okay. This makes a really nice full lid color. I do like wearing like satiny browns all over my eye. Why? Don't know. They just seem really pleasant to me. Should use blending brush rather than hacking at it with the flat brush. And that's what blending brushes are for, right? That went a bit OTT and terrible, but that's okay. So that is what that brown shimmer looks like. Really similar to the other one, but this one is a cooler tone, whereas this is more of an orange. It's got a gold glitter and just looks really beautiful. The next shade is this bright gold shimmer color. I'm applying this with a flat shader brush, though I do find that if I just use my fingers, I can get a lot more glitter pigmentation with a lot less fallout. However, if you don't want to get your fingers dirty, or if you've got long nails, it is possible to use it with just a flat brush. This kind of looks like a colourless glitter on my lids. There isn't very much pigmentation, it's pretty much just like a silvery gold glitter, so that is what it looks like there. The next glitter over it is more of a peach shaded glitter, and I'm going to be using the flat shader brush again for this one. But again, if you want more pigmentation, you can use your fingers. I feel like this one is fine to apply with a brush. I don't feel like there's a huge amount of differences if I use my fingers in terms of the pigmentation or like the effect of the shadow. It's kind of like a little baby, like metallic. It's almost got that foiled effect going for it. This is very cute for like a bright springtime look. It's not a hugely pigmented color, but it is a really nice light peach, and it goes well with the matte peach as well for a little bit more depth. So next up is this coral shimmer. It's definitely less shimmery than the peach one here, but it is a bit more of an orange color rather than like the fuchsia pink of this one. I wish I had shade names for these, but I think they're on the back in Korean and I can't read it. And I haven't googled it yet, so if there are shade names then I'll put them in as captions. This color is much more pigmented than it looks, so I'm actually just going to blend the edges out with my blending brush in a second, in the hopes that it is going to look a little bit more cohesive. There you go, so that is that coral color. It's more pigmented than you would imagine for a Korean sort of shadow that looks like that, you know, like that looks like it would probably be very wishy-washy, to me at least, because that's what I would expect from a Korean shadow, but it is so pretty. It does kind of make me look like I've got pink eye if I use too much of it though, like it's a bit much, but it does have a really beautiful gold shimmer in it that's very subtle, so that's a really pretty beautiful color. And the most interesting shade is this bright cherry red shimmer, which I find a little bit hard to work with, but we will see how we go. I do find that sometimes it does stain my eyelid a little bit pink if I use too much of it, which is usually if I use my finger, but if I use a brush, you can see here, like the pigmentation isn't as good as you would expect from such a dark shadow. Also really stains the brushes, so just be aware of that. My brushes will never come clean again. A little bit extra on my finger there. You get a bit more of that shimmer, but it's not a huge amount darker. So often if I'm going to use it, I will use my finger to apply it and then try and blend around the edges, because I mean even that looks way better just because it has more shimmer. The more I pack it on with the brush, the less shimmery it feels, so it's a stunning colour that I never get anywhere out of. So that's okay with me, but yeah, that is the bright pinky red there. So the last colour down the end is this bright white shimmer shade, and I'm actually swatching it first because I did them in order of the colours, so that's why I've got eyeliner on again. So this is the bright white shimmer shade. It doesn't look like very much at all. It's slightly lighter than my skin tone, but nothing substantial. I can use it on the center of the lid to brighten things up, or on the brow bone, or on the inner corner is pretty much where I use it the most. So I pop it in there, it just brightens up that inner corner just that little bit more. So for this look I used the mauvey pink in the crease, the white shimmer in the inner corner, pink shimmer in the middle, and then the darkest brown at the edge. So for today's eyeshadow look, I used the matte light peach all over my lid and up into my crease. And then I used that really pretty champagne gold shimmer on the lid and then into the inner corner. And that is it. Super pretty. For this eye look, I used the shimmery peach colour in the inner half and the shimmery brown in the outer half. The brown looks a little bit more orange on the skin than it does in the pan, but I still think this look is really pretty. So today I used the peachy pink shimmer all over my lid and then the darkest pink shimmer in the outer third of my eyelid, and that is about it. I'm not 100% sure on this one. I've never worn so many pink shadows, but I do think it is kind of cute. What do you guys think? So all in all, I've definitely been favouring this eyeshadow palette, even though I'm not wearing it today because I was also doing the Shimmer shadow palette as well as the Holika foil shadow reviews today. So those are the ones that I used. However, I kind of felt like I had to be fair and use the other ones because I have been using this one so much. This has definitely become a staple in my routine. My favourite colour, absolutely, is that first pink one there. It's the most beautiful, like pinky, rosy gold. I just absolutely love it. But then I find that all of the other shades are very useful, with the exception, of course, like I said, being that very dark pink and actually that very white shimmer down the end as well. Mostly because the white shimmer doesn't really show up that much for me unless I'm using it for an inner corner highlight. It would be lovely as a brow bone highlight, but I just don't really do that because I feel like my brow bone is generally light enough as it is without adding more to it. These two colours are not particularly helpful for me, but I love the rest of the palette. And I feel like they have their uses, and if you like more dramatic looks, that pink is going to be so beautiful. But yeah, I just absolutely love the colours. And they work better than the other eyeshadows that I've tried from Etude House. Why? I don't know. I just find them so much easier to blend. The mattes actually don't look chalky and patchy. And the shimmers, I find that Etude House shimmers are generally pretty good. The shimmers are so buttery, they're easy to use, they're easy to blend, they're everything that my dreams are made of. So would I recommend this palette? Absolutely. If you enjoy pink colours, if you enjoy any of the colours that are in this palette, if you want something that is light, portable, travel safe, comes with a mirror, comes with space to probably fit a brush in there as well. I haven't tried putting like a proper brush in there, in that little brush compartment, but I think you probably could fit a brush in there. Width-wise, depends on how big your brush is, I guess. But I cannot say anything more nice about it. There is nothing really that I don't like about it, which is nice to say for an Etude House eyeshadow palette because I haven't been able to say that for any other reviews that I did for Etude House eyeshadows. So I would highly recommend picking this one up. I am really considering picking up that lavender one as well at the moment. What do you guys think? I know there's only two like purple lavender shades in the lavender palette, which seems silly, but should I try the lavender palette as well? Leave your thoughts down below. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!